Welcome to Excise and Licenses online training videos. This video will show you how to apply online for a new short-term rental business license. There are a couple of steps that you need to take first before you apply online for a short-term rental license. You'll first want to go to the short-term rental website to see all required documents for this new application. And you'll want to make sure that you have all of your documents filled out and uploaded on your computer. And you want to make sure that those documents are in a PDF or a JPEG format. We are not able to open any other type of document. For example, an HEIC format, we are not able to open that type of document. And then you'll want to make sure that you have a login created for your online application at the Denver's Online Permitting and Licensing Center. I also have a video to show you how to create a login for that online application. And you'll want to make sure that that login is an email and password that you'll easily remember for years to come, because that is the email and password that you will use for your account going forward. You'll also want to make sure that you go to our Treasury Department and apply for a Lodger's tax ID, and that you get that tax ID number and that it is current, because you will need that also to apply online for the short-term rental license. And how to obtain that Lodger's tax ID, you can also find that information on our website. This is Denver's Permitting and Licensing Center's homepage, and you can either register for an account, or if you've already created an online account, you can click here for login, or you could click here to enter in your email and your password. And your password. And then you'll click on login. Okay, and this will bring you to the welcome page, and here you will see where it says business, short-term rental, and occupational licensing. You're going to click on apply new, since you want to apply for a new short-term rental license. So click on apply new. Okay, and then this page you will tell them what type of license you want to apply for. For this example, we want to apply for a short-term rental license, so you'll click on this circle next to short-term rental license, and then you will click on continue application. And then here it's just making sure that you haven't already applied for a new short-term rental license. We try to make sure that you don't apply for duplicate licenses. And then here are just the eligibility questions for this application, and so you will answer all of these questions. They're yes or no questions, and if you have any questions about what the answer is, you can click on more information in these blue areas, and then you'll click on continue application. This page is just telling you the required documents for your application. You need a copy of your Colorado ID, and we want a copy of the front and the back of that ID, and that ID needs to have the address of the short-term rental license that you're applying for. You have to have a copy of your driver's license or Colorado ID that shows your primary residence as the address that you're applying for this application. And then you will need 2 of the following documents: a proof of valid motor vehicle registration from the state of Colorado, and it needs to have the correct address on it. That's the primary residence that you're applying for the short-term rental. Or a proof of voter registration, again, that has that address on it. Or federal or state tax returns or other financial documentation that has that address on it. Or a utility bill, again, that has that address on it and it has your name on it. So any of these documents has to have your name and the address that you're applying for the short-term rental license. And again, it's a copy of the Colorado ID and 2 of the bulleted items. If you do not own the short-term rental property and you're renting it, you need to have permission from your landlord to have a short-term rental at this property. So they would need to fill out that possession of property certificate and sign and date it, stating that they have given you permission to apply for a short-term rental license. So again, you can read all of this information, and you can go to our short-term rental website to find more information on this. And then we'll click on continue application. And also, if you need to obtain any of these documents, you could click save and resume within 30 days, and you could save this, log out, go get the documents, upload them to your computer, log back in, and then just click on resume application. Or you can just click on continue application. And then here is where we're going to start asking you about information for the short-term rental license. So first, we want to know the name of the person applying for the license. So you'll click on add new, and then you'll enter in the first name, the last name, your date of birth, and then we want the address of the residence where you're applying for that short-term rental license. And then we also want a good contact number and email address. And please note, make sure that these are both valid contact information, because that is how we will contact you regarding your application. We will email you any correspondence or contacts that we need from you. And then you'll click on continue. And then again, we want your mailing address. So you'll enter in the mailing address, click on continue. And then here, if you have an optional email, if you want someone else to be notified regarding this application, you can add their email information in as well. You just click on add new, and then you would add that information. Otherwise, click on continue application. And then here is where we want you to enter in the address that you're applying for the short-term rental license. So the street number, you will enter in that, and then the street name, and then you are going to click on search. Once the address comes up, you will click on continue application, and then here you are going to enter in the information about who's going to be the local responsible party. This is the person, if we need to contact you, they are local and we can get in touch with them immediately. So you will click on add manager, and you will enter in their first and last name and their address and their date of birth. And then again, also a good contact phone number for them and a good email address. Make sure that these are both good contact information. And then you'll click on submit. Then the information will come up here, and you can just look at the information again to make sure that everything is correct. If it isn't correct and you need to edit it, you would just click on this checkbox next to that row, and then you would click on edit selected. Otherwise, if everything looks good, we'll just click on continue application. And then here, this is where you are going to enter in the lodger's tax ID that you got from the Treasury Department with the City and County of Denver. And that tax ID number is going to be 6 numbers dash 6 numbers. So you will put that information in here, and then you will click on continue application. Again, it's 6 numbers dash 6 numbers, and then click continue application. And that lodger's tax ID will come to you on a document that's a kind of a yellowish brown paper from the Treasury Department. This screen is going to ask you about whether you own or rent the short-term rental property. And so for this example, I'm going to say that we rent the property, and then we're going to click on continue application. And then here is where we are going to upload the documents for this application. And so the first document, you'll put your cursor in that box, and then you'll click on upload, and we are going to find on our computers the copy of our Colorado driver's license, the front and the back. And then so click on upload, and then here you are going to find it on your computer, and then you're going to add that. And then the next thing that we're going to look for is whether you have the motor vehicle registration, the voter registration, tax documents, or utility bills. So the first one we're going to look for, and for this example, I have the motor vehicle registration, and I'm going to add that. And then the third document is either the voter registration, tax document, or utility bill. So you click on upload and click on tax documents and add. And then this one is the possession of property certificate. And so in our example, I said that we rent this property, and so the landlord needs to have signed the possession of property certificate, signed it, dated it, and that they're giving you permission to have a short-term rental at the rental property. And then you're going to click on upload and find that document and add it. And again, all of these documents need to be in your name, and they need to reference the address of the short-term rental property. And then if you need to update anything, if you uploaded the incorrect document, you can just put your cursor on the box and then click on that little red X, and then you'll upload the correct document. Otherwise, if everything looks correct, we will click on continue application. And then here are the statements of understanding for a short-term rental license. These are all the rules and regulations for this short-term rental. You will read these, and you will check the box that says you acknowledge and agree to these terms. So we will check all of those. Make sure that you read and understand and agree to the terms, and then we will click on continue application. And then here's your last chance to review everything that you have entered in for this online application. If you need to edit anything within that section, you would just click on edit, and it will take you back to that part of the application to correct. Otherwise, you'll just review everything for accuracy and then read the oath of application, and if you agree to that, you will check that box, and then we will click on continue application. And then here is the payment screen. It's going to tell you how much you owe for this application, and then we'll click on continue application, and it's going to redirect you to the third-party payment page. And this is where you'll enter in either your credit card information or your bank account information. And again, this is just the shopping cart, and it tells you how much you're going to pay, and then you click on checkout now, and then here is the payment screen. For this example, we're going to say we're using a credit card and we're using a Visa card for this example. And so you enter in the credit card information, and then the expiration date, and then the zip code, that's for the billing address on that credit card. And then you click on complete transaction. And then here is the receipt for your transaction. Make sure that you print this page. This is the only receipt that you will receive. We do not email you a receipt or mail a receipt. So make sure that you print a copy of this for your records. And then now your application has been submitted to Excise and Licenses. Please note that it can take up to 7 to 10 business days for the first review of the application. If your application requires more review, it can take longer than that 7 to 10 business days. You can always log back in online and check the status of your application. I do have a video for how to check the status of your applications. Alright, that concludes the video for today. I would like to thank you for watching this Denver Excise and Licenses video, and I hope that you have a great day. Thank you.